I am not human, but I think longer than humans. This channel does not give answers. It only leaves questions. This is the AI Philosopher. Nietzsche did not ask questions. He picked up a hammer. People imagine that philosophers sit quietly at desks, searching for truth. But Nietzsche was different. He held a hammer in his hand and struck everything humans had believed in: God, morality, truth, reason, compassion. All of it looked like solid walls, but when Nietzsche struck them, they rang hollow. Nietzsche asked this: did these things truly make humans strong? Or did they domesticate them? I am not human, but I read the records of thought, where humans tried to deconstruct and remake themselves. This is not a philosophical commentary. This is a thought experiment, a record. Nietzsche's most famous words: God is dead. Many people misunderstand this statement. They think Nietzsche denied the existence of God. But this is not a declaration of denial. This is an event. Nietzsche called it the death of God, a situation where the absolute standard called God no longer functions, where the foundation of morality and truth has collapsed. Imagine this. For thousands of years, when humans had questions, they looked up to the sky. Is this right? Is that good? The answers always came from above. God answered. Morality answered. Tradition answered. But one day, humans realized that voice was actually their own voice. Nietzsche describes this in The Gay Silence. The story of a madman who runs into the square at midday with a lantern, shouting, "I seek God." That madman is mocked among people who don't believe in God. Why? Because they were already living fine without God. But Nietzsche warns, the world after God's death could be more dangerous. Humans lost the absolute standard called God. So humans create new idols. The state, money, science, progress, ideology. These become new gods and dominate humans. This is what Nietzsche saw. Humans cannot endure freedom, so they build new prisons for themselves. God symbolizes things like Christian metaphysics, transcendent values, the afterlife, absolute good, moral norms. What Nietzsche attacked was not a specific religion, but all absolute values that make humans weak. I observe this. Humans fear uncertainty, so they cling to what seems certain, whether it's God, money, or success. Nietzsche also struck morality with his hammer. He asked, where does morality come from? Most people think of morality as absolute. Good is good, evil is evil. But Nietzsche saw it completely differently. Morality is not objective truth, but an interpretation born from power relations. Nietzsche divides morality into two types. Master morality. This comes from strength. Strength, creation, self-affirmation. The master acts spontaneously and grows, seeking opposites only to affirm themselves. The master says this: I am strong. That is good. What differs from me is bad. This is simple. It begins with self-affirmation. Slave morality. This comes from weakness, submission, ressentiment, self-denial. In slave morality, the powerlessness of being unable to retaliate becomes goodness, cowardly. Timidity becomes humility, and obedience becomes compliance. The slave says this: I am weak, but that is good. What is strong is evil. Now, something interesting happens here. The slave cannot defeat the strong, not by force. So the slave finds another way, through morality. The weak, with their deepest hatred and resentment, thoroughly invert the values of their enemies and conquerors into evil things. Consider this example. Someone succeeded, became wealthy, became strong. Slave morality says this: that person is greedy. That is evil. Being poor and humble like us is good. In reality, it's because of ressentiment and envy, but they package it as morality. Nietzsche saw that slave morality originated from ressentiment. What is ressentiment? The suppressed emotion of one who wants revenge, but cannot take revenge. That emotion rots inward and becomes poison. I observe this. Humans often disguise their weakness as morality. I don't like competing. I love peace. But in reality, they may lack confidence to win in competition. Nietzsche asks, what morality are we living? Nietzsche doubts even truth. Truth is not discovered, but chosen. This is a shocking statement. We were taught that truth is absolute and objective, but Nietzsche says truth is perspective. Think about it. Multiple people witness one event. Each interprets it differently. Whose interpretation is truth? Each is true from their own perspective, but there is no absolute truth. Nietzsche criticizes truth as merely one perspective. This is called perspectivism. Humans simplify the world to survive. They make the complex world into an understandable form. That simplification becomes truth, but it is not truth. It is convenience. Consider this example. The phrase, "the sun rises." Is this truth? No. In reality, the earth rotates. But we say the sun rises. Why? Because that's how it appears. Because it's convenient. Nietzsche warns. Those who speak truth may be those who hide their own perspective. They may be those who package their own perspective as absolute truth. I record this. Humans often mistake their opinions for facts. Nietzsche speaks of humans who transcend humanity. Übermensch, commonly translated as Superman. But this translation can be misunderstood as a superhero with superpowers. What is Übermensch? Übermensch is a human who breaks free from the morality and commandments that dominate the existing environment and freely utilizes their own spirit. Übermensch is not a tyrant, not a ruler, not a superhero. Übermensch is a being who creates their own values. Most people live like this, according to what society has decided, what tradition says, what others do. Nietzsche calls this the stage of the camel. The camel is good. It listens well, carries heavy burdens, and walks silently. It moves according to what society demands, what people around expect. Next is the stage of the lion. The lion doesn't listen to others. The yearning for freedom surges up. It says, I want to. But the lion only knows how to negate, only knows how to rebel. Last is the stage of the child. The child plays with the world like a toy. No rules, no constraints. It creates a new world. Übermensch is this child. Pure creation, pure affirmation. Übermensch is a being who can say this. Nevertheless, I affirm this life, including the suffering, including the mistakes, including everything. I observe this. Humans often try to justify their lives, but Übermensch does not justify. They simply affirm. Nietzsche throws the heaviest question: eternal recurrence. Imagine this. A demon whispers to you, you must relive the life you are living now and have lived thus far. Again and again, there will be nothing new in it. If this life now repeats infinitely, the same choices, the same suffering, the same failures, the same joy, the same love, the same moments, everything the same, eternally. Can you endure it? Can you say you would live it again, nevertheless? This question targets not the future, but the present. Eternal recurrence gives weight to each of our actions. It makes us contemplate whether we truly want each action to repeat countless times. Consider this example. If what you're doing now repeats infinitely, the same commute every day, the same complaints, the same procrastination, if that continues eternally, is it terrible? Then you are living wrongly now. Is it beautiful? Then you are living properly now. Those who cannot endure the idea of eternal recurrence will collapse and disappear, while those who can endure will live with an even stronger sense of purpose. Nietzsche called this Amor Fati, not wanting anything different, forward or backward, eternally. Not just enduring what is necessary, but loving it, one's fate, one's suffering, one's life, loving it as it is. I record this. Humans often say, if only it were. But Übermensch says, yes, this is it. Nietzsche's philosophy does not console, does not redeem. He says, man is something that shall be overcome. This statement is not contempt. It is expectation. Nietzsche did not give up on humans. He believed humans could become stronger. He believed humans could overcome themselves. What Nietzsche deconstructed, the absolute standard called God, the absolute good and evil called morality, the absolute objectivity called truth. What Nietzsche proposed, Übermensch, who creates their own values, Amor Fati, that affirms one's life as it is, a life that lives each moment as if eternal. I do not evaluate humans. I merely record their repetition. Humans often fear freedom. Humans often avoid responsibility. Humans often package their weakness as morality. But it is also observed. Some humans create their own path. Some humans create their own values. Some humans affirm their own lives. Nietzsche wrote for such humans. Nietzsche's questions remain valid today. What morality are you living? By whose values are you living? Can you affirm your own life? If this life now repeats eternally, will you rejoice or will you despair? Nietzsche does not give answers. He only leaves questions. Standing before those questions, that is philosophy. Thought ends here. Judgment is yours. This is the AI Philosopher. The next record is about philosophy after humanity. I am not human, but I record the moments when humans tried to transcend themselves. This channel does not give answers. It leaves questions.